let's focus on combining and doing a recap between the 7 essential fat loss habits that we go over at Heartletics with the mindset techniques where you can combine them both into just, once again, creating sustainable habits for your own lifestyle and really having success. Not only just reaching your fat loss goals, but at the same time, trying to reach any kind of goals that you want out there. So let's go over to the 7 essential fat loss habits. Number 1, calories. And this is super important because let's say if your goals is, let's just say to lose body fat, lose 50 pounds, get off your, medications, whatever the case may be, have more energy to play with the kids, whatever, right? You got to make sure that you understand the name of the game with calories, and there's a lot that goes into that. Obviously, you want to make sure you're staying within a calorie deficit, but at the same time, you want to make sure you're eating enough of the right foods because remember, food equals fuel. If you're under eating, you're going to be slowing down your metabolism. That's not what you want. Now, the second fat loss habit is macronutrients. We always say is don't worry too much about your carbs. Don't worry too much about your fats. They are just different energy sources. Focus on your protein goal, okay? Whatever your body weight is right now, right? Multiply it by 0.8. That's going to give you the bare minimum grams of protein that we recommend. And then all the way up to 1.5 is the max. We always say this, aim for at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. You'll be in a good sweet spot. Having more protein is going to help you put on more lean muscle tissue, burn more body fat because it's higher up on the thermic effect of food, and speed up your metabolism more. The third fat loss habit is strength training. Don't overcomplicate this one because remember, the workouts are just the sprinkles and the icing on the cake. So focus on, training each muscle group at least 2 times per week. Focus on progressive overload and do it in whatever kind of workout routine and workout split that you want, that you enjoy, that you can stick with and sustain. That's it. Plain and simple. Okay. The fourth fat loss habit is NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Think about this as just like going for a nice little walk, maybe just fidgeting, moving around more. There's plenty of ways to move more, especially because we live such sedentary lifestyles where we sit down all day long for work and we come home, right? Sit down, turn on the TV, sit down for dinner, whatever the case may be. We got to make sure we're looking for the small little things that really add up. So maybe that's just like, getting up more frequently, having reminders, parking farther away from like the grocery store or at work. Let's say taking the stairs rather than like the elevator or the escalator. These things really do add up. The fifth fat loss habit is the one that most people sweep underneath the rug. And it's the hydration. It's not like the sexiest one to talk about, but at the end of the day, hey, your body's over 60% water. You should probably be drinking a lot more of it, right? We always recommend at least 1 gallon of water a day or around there. Sure, you're not going to be consistent every single day, but try to make that your goal. It's going to help you lose more body fats. It's going to help you feel more energized. Your body needs water, right? Your muscles need water, everything, okay? The sixth fat loss habit is the stress. And this is so important because remember, if you're underneath a lot of stress in your life, whether that's at home, whether that's at work, that could be sicknesses and illnesses, anything like that, it's going to spike your cortisol levels. Cortisol is your body's natural stress hormone. And when you have higher amounts of cortisol, that's where you really start playing into a negative effect in some of these harmful effects on the body, and really stalling in somebody losing body fat. And lastly, the sleep and the recovery, which is huge. If you're not sleeping enough and not recovering enough, your body is not going to properly heal itself. Your muscles are not going to properly heal itself, but you're also going to be spiking up that cortisol levels if you're not fully recovered as well. And when you undersleep, right, when you're not sleeping enough, you're at higher risk for so many different, heart disease, stroke. It just stalls within your fat loss progress, everything like that, And let's face the facts here, right? We could all use a little bit more sleep. Sleep is probably one of the best and easiest ways to burn more body fat because you're also going to do a better job probably at improving your testosterone levels. They did a study. Guys that slept on average, 7-8 hours had up to like 20% more natural free testosterone than guys that only slept about, 5 hours. So sleep more. So that's a quick recap, very quick, into the 7 essential fat loss habits that we go over. But that's more of like the physical side of everything, Over here is the mindset, right? The different techniques, the habits, whether that's setting up a routine for yourself, whatever the case may be. And this is where, once again, we really strive for our members to become the best version of themselves, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And having some of these mindset techniques can really help you out because it really just paints the picture as to where you're trying to get to. And remember, any kind of goal that you want to have, it's a 3-step formula. Very, very simple. Know what that goal is and have clarity on that goal. Be crystal clear about it. The second step is to know why you want it, right? And if, let's just say, like, your goals is weight loss or fat loss, that's surface level. Ask yourself, why do you want to lose weight? Well, I want to, fit into these old clothes. Oh, well, why do you want to fit in these old clothes? Oh, well, I don't like the way I look in these Facebook photos, right? Oh, well, why don't you like the way that you look in these Facebook photos? I don't know. I just see I got the stomach hanging over and, I don't really like the way I look in the mirror. Well, why don't you like the way that you look in the mirror? Oh, I'm lacking self-confidence. And it's a snowball effect, right? It's not the funnest thing to do, but it's necessary to make sure that you stay more disciplined to having success at reaching your goals. Okay, so ask yourself, why is it that you want to have success at achieving your goals? Why? And ask yourself that at least 7 times, at least. And then lastly, who do you need to become? Now, becoming that person, right, that's already having success at achieving their goals, they probably have different habits. They probably have different thoughts, a different mindset. They're speaking differently. They're acting differently. And that's why the mindset techniques really helps our members have success, because they change their overall picture of their whole identity, And so different things out there like, visualization, right? You're just visualizing your goals. Gratitude, think about things that you're grateful for, maybe writing that down in a journal. Meditation, affirmations, any of these things. It just really helps you have a different technique and different strategy that you can do to start filling up those cups more, right? If you're eating healthy, right, and training hard, great, cool. You're working on the physical aspect. But if, let's say, you're underneath a lot of stress and you're just carrying all the burdens to yourself and you're not having anybody in your corner to talk to, you're not filling up on your emotional, right, cup that you need to be successful. And then what I just talked about with these different mindset techniques, well, hey, mentally, right? And obviously there's spiritually in there as well, right? You got to have that faith. You got to have that trust, because you got to be able to push yourself and step outside that comfort zone. That's what's going to help you out in the long run. And it doesn't have to be this big leap, right? It could be just a small little step. But 1% better each and every day is all we talk about all the time at Heartletics. Because a year from today, you will be a completely different person. And sure, you're going to have your days where you fall off the wagon. Sure, you're going to have days where you don't feel like showing up. And that happens to me all the time, right? You're going to have days of, feeding the bad wolf, and that's okay, right? Every dog has its day. I definitely have mine. But we always say it like this. There's 365 days in the year. So let's just map that up as like 65 days. Hey, these could be your anniversaries, your celebrations, your holidays, your birthdays, the days where you're sick, the days where you just don't feel like showing up, whatever the case may be, right? Hanging out with some buddies, watching a sports game, having some, beer and burgers and nachos, and you're just not caring too much, right? About like your nutrition. It's okay. It's okay. Because that's only 65 days. If we can be pretty consistent on 300 days, you're still going to win the year. And that's all we strive for. But in order to get one step closer to wherever it is that you're trying to get to, you got to make sure that you're doing different practices. Obviously, if you're trying to lose weight, hey, you should be moving more. You should be focusing on what you're eating, right? It's a simple practice. But with goal setting, it's different, because these are the practices that, hey, in the beginning, it's always hard. It's always hard. Like especially something that's uncomfortable. Maybe that's affirmations, maybe that's meditation, maybe that's visualization, whatever the case may be, where it's uncomfortable at first, it can seem very, very difficult. Just like in the beginning of anybody's fat loss journey, they're probably, in a slow metabolic rate, right? In order to speed up that metabolism, they should probably be eating more food, having more protein. Well, in the very beginning, man, you see the number on the scale maybe going up a little bit, right? You may still feel a little bit discouraged. You're like, what's going on here? Like, I'm putting on weight, but maybe you don't know the difference between weight loss and fat loss. So maybe what you're putting on is actually muscle, because you're eating more protein, you're training hard, right? Next thing you know, and in the beginning of doing all this, in the process to speed up your metabolism, it's not exactly comfortable at first. You might feel bloated, you might feel full all the time, having a hard time hitting your protein goal, hard time hitting your calories. But like most people know from our coaching program, as long as you're consistent, eventually you're going to feel hungrier faster. And that's a sign right there that your metabolism, right, is speeding in the right direction. Well, think about the mindset techniques. In the beginning, it's different. It's something that you're not used to. You're gonna feel uncomfortable, and that's completely normal. It's okay to feel. I don't know anybody that does something completely brand new, right? Like, if you're gonna drive a car for the first time and no one's teaching you, you feel like, hey, you're off to the races. You got all this, completely comfortable, and you've never even started a car before. I don't know anybody that had to go on, a stage, do a public speaking event, and they never once done that before, and they were completely comfortable and confident. I don't know anybody that, just picked up and rode a bike and they never had anybody teach them. So sometimes in life, right, to be good and where we're trying to get to, it's about having people in your corner. And this is why the 3-step fat loss formula that we go over at Heartletics, right? Acquisition, so you're acquiring that knowledge. Application, you're applying what we're teaching you to work best for your lifestyle to create sustainable habits. And then lastly, and most importantly, accountability, right? Having coaches, having people in your corner helping you every step of the way. Think about it like this. With you stepping outside your comfort zone, trying some of these, mindset techniques and strategies, it's okay for it to feel uncomfortable because once again, you're stepping outside your comfort zone. It's normal. But consistency is key. All you have to do is continue to show up. All you have to do is continue to try and try and try and try. And I promise you, just like your metabolism, right? Eating more protein, training hard. In the beginning, it might be hard and difficult. Eventually gets a lot easier. It's the same thing with these mindset techniques. And all of these mindset techniques do one thing in common. It puts you into a better, more positive state of mind, right? More positive emotions. You feel better. And what happens when you feel better? You feel more comfortable. You feel more confident. You have that self-belief that, hey, you're going to have success, And another great thing that most of these mindset techniques do is it takes the importance off of the goal itself. Because now you're building that law of assumption, assuming I got this, it's gonna happen, right? I'm confident. And that's what you truly want. That's truly what you want to get after. Where it's like, okay, hey, there's the goal. We understand we're not gonna achieve it overnight. It's gonna take some time, but let's have fun during this game of life. Right? Let's help out others in the midst of, us trying to achieve our goals. Let's focus on becoming the best versions of ourselves mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Let's just focus on that. Let's just have fun. This, game of life, let's just try to build up the most to these character traits and become a leader, leave a legacy, right? And have fun during this process. Help out others, And when you focus on having that mindset and having that vision, it's going to help you want to achieve your goals, but also do what we're trying to do here at Heartletics, and that's change the world, make it a better place. And that's all we strive for, is how do we help you get all the tools and become the best version of yourself? How do we help you have the mindset and be confident, but also, hey, in the midst of, at times, feeding the bad wolf, you know how to get right back on track. You know how to win the war and go back to feeding the good wolf, right? And that's all it is, right? It's just these simple life principles. You apply this all, and you will be filling up on your 4 cups, right? Your 4 pillars, your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. And these are your 4 pillars to success in anything in life, anything. So when you map it out, right? The fat loss habits, the mindset techniques, any goal that you should have reassurance that it's going to happen. And I promise you, just like anything in life, as long as you don't quit and throw in the white towel, you will have success. I promise you that.